This week on the Chef's Cut, we are trying the latest viral Super Bowl snack. Game on. I'm forking the hell out of this. Is a burger ever worth a special trip? I don't know if I would make a trip just for a burger. And we answer the question, why would anybody actually want to open a restaurant? What brand of weird are you?
Yes, it's fantastic.
Well, Joe, I think there is a special time of year coming up that I'm a huge fan of, mainly for the food. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, right around the corner. Oh, look at the shirt. Da Bears. An epic season. Oh my God. I think Pope Leo did it for us, may I say.
The Pope. But yeah, it's Super Bowl. And I think Super Bowl is one of the, it's such a fun food one, right? Because it's not, you know what I mean? Like Thanksgiving's a very serious food holiday. Christmas, you know what I mean? Whatever, holidays you're celebrating, those are very serious food holidays.
Right.
I feel like the Super Bowl is like a food holiday, but it's like the most fun one because it's like, nobody's like, okay, I'm doing a prime rib.
Right.
You know what I mean? With, palm souffle.
Right.
It's like,
I'm doing slow cooker chili.
Right. It's like, what can I buffalo?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, what can we make buffalo? That hasn't been buffaloed before.
I like using buffalo as a verb. What can I buffalo? I fucking love
that's
that.
what I mean, though. But I think that's just like basically, like if you had a menu meeting for Super Bowl, it would just be a whiteboard that said, what can we buffalo?
I love that. And I think
or what can we turn into a dip?
You can buffalo just about anything.
Yeah.
If you really put your mind to it. I'm here for it. Let's buffalo the world.
If you believe, you can buffalo.
So for Fork It or Forget It today, Joe, I want to do a little bit of Super Bowl food. And there is a recipe. I'm like into these viral recipes now after the phyllo cake because that was the first one that I tried that was good. So I found another recipe that's got another 4-point-something million views.
Okay.
So Joe, the Super Bowl snack that I'm seeing that I really want to try because I actually think it's going to come out fucking delicious is reverse jalapeno poppers.
Oh, I am a jalapeno popper fan in all forms because there's the jalapeno popper it's a great vessel, right? There's a million ways to chop it up.
So this recipe is kind of like a jalapeno popper stuffed into my favorite ingredient. One thing, and okay, full disclosure, I always have puff pastry in my freezer. There is never a day that goes by that you will not open up my freezer and I have a box of puff pastry. It's the workhorse. It is a true workhorse. If you need to make something on the fly, people come over, you need a snack to bring somewhere, puff pastry, whatever, sweet or savory, that's like my secret weapon. But this is kind of like a cheese straw jalapeno popper style.
So you're making jalapeno popper Wellingtons.
Oh, God, that sounds... Yeah, that's essentially what you're doing, is a jalapeno popper welly. Ooh, I need to do that, for real for Super Bowl. But it's gorgeous,
Let's see what you got. You got to hold that up higher.
I don't want them to slide onto my...
Yeah. All right, so you folded the jalapeno. What else you got there? Bacon?
Yeah, so you chop up and, pre-cook your bacon, chop up your jalapenos, grate your cheddar. I don't like to use pre-shredded cheese because it has that floury coating on it so they don't stick together. And then it really affects the way that it melts. So I like to just grate my cheddar from a good old fashioned Wisconsin block.
You're like Ina Garden over there.
But, store-bought shredded is fine.
Yeah, if you can't grate your own.
Then store-bought is fine. But you roll out your puff pastry. You put everything on one half of the dough, fold it over, cut it into strips, egg wash it, and then twist them and bake them. So...
You cooking those jalapenos first or you raw dogging them?
I raw dogged. I went straight raw dog because I like a little crunch. I think that's going to be a nice, they'll still cook because you bake them at 425 for puff pastry. But I think that'll still add a nice grassy, fresh element with all the heavy ingredients like cheese, bacon, puff pastry that'll all coat your palate. I think that'll give me something kind of fresh.
You going no dip? You're just going straight straw.
Game on. I'm forking the hell out of this.
It looks really good, but I think you need a dip. I think you need a dip. That's
I
the
don't
one thing I'm
disagree
going
with
to
you.
say.
I don't
feel like
disagree.
it needs a dip of some sort, and I think the enthusiasts are going to say you need ranch.
Mm.
And I'm not a ranch person per se,
What?
but
Who are you?
I didn't say I hate ranch. I just said it's not like my jam. I don't need it.
You can ranch anything, just like you can buffalo anything. You can ranch anything. But you're right. I think a dip for this would be really good. Something like cooling, like a sour
Mm-hmm.
cream base, kind of thing to like freshen it up because it is a little rich. Puff pastry, bacon, cheddar. It is a little rich, but it is wildly delicious.
It sounds really good. I would fork it. I would fork it. I'm never going to make it because I don't have puff pastry in my freezer, and I'm not going to put puff pastry in my freezer. And like, that's like too much of baking something on my day off, which I'm not interested in.
You'll make pancakes every morning, but you won't bake puff pastry.
That is correct. Maybe I'll make a jalapeno popper pizza for Super Bowl. Classic Roman jalapeno popper pizza.
Nothing more classic than that. This is phenomenal. I love Super Bowl snacks. Like that's kind of my jam. That's really what I'm here for.
My favorite weird one is it's actually a Missy Robbins recipe where you take a small salami and you bake it in like really cheap maple syrup. Like you can't get nice stuff. It's like really cheap, like the Jewel brand watery stuff. And you bake it at like 425 for like 25 minutes till it's just like it absorbs it. Then you slice it and you serve it with like toast points and like brown mustard. And it is so delicious.
I am today years old. I have never heard of such a thing. Are you kidding me?
It's so good. It was Tony Mantuano told me about it. He said she made it for him when the last time the Bears played in the Super Bowl, actually.
Oh.
And he was like, it's phenomenal. And so like it was in her first cookbook, actually. And I was like, oh, I have to make this. And so I made it for the Super Bowl one year. It's so good.
Really?
It's so good. I ate like a whole salami. It was,
So how big is a small salami? Because I'm only familiar with like a 3 foot long, 4 to 5 inch thick.
It's like the length of like a Midwest hand. And it's, you know what I mean? No, like a real one. Like, and, it's like thick as like your microphone. You know what I mean? It's like it got a good, like not as quite as big as like a real like Wisconsin summer sausage where, they make them in like shapes of footballs and shit. But it's,
who doesn't love a summer sausage?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm like,
wow,
got to be on the table.
I might try that this year. That sounds really cool. I mean, I love salami. I like maple syrup.
I love maple syrup.
And I like, brown mustard. And toast points. I mean, come on. Like that's right up my alley. Yeah. Yep.
That's a win.
Tell Missy I'm making her recipe. I want to intro a new segment. How do you feel about that?
Well, it depends. Is this a new segment that you have a name for that I'm not going to approve?
Depends. It depends on your mood today. Sometimes you're like wildly salty and sometimes you're like friendly. So if Joe is feeling friendly today, I think you'll like it.
I feel friendly every day.
Nah, I disagree. But I want to call this segment Salted. This is about Chef's Cut Nation listeners who have sent us questions. They sent us comments, and some of them we're going to get to more later. We're going to answer these questions. But people have some hot takes. They feel some kind of way about certain things. And I want to read you one that came through IG. You ready?
I'm ready for this. I enjoy this. I like this idea of giving the people a little pulpit.
I know, right? We want to hear their thoughts and we want to respond. So this is one from one of our Chef's Cut listeners. What do you think of this salted take? Agree or disagree? Nobody should ever give the advice, you've got to go here for this burger. I've tried almost every good burger out there, and some of them are great, but I've never actually thought that it's worth taking a trip to a restaurant just for the burger. For example, Red Hook Tavern is famous for their burger, but the long commute, 4-hour wait time left me underwhelmed. Minetta Tavern, another great restaurant, but the burger was overhyped. At the end of the day, even the best burger isn't good enough to justify a dedicated trip. Ooh, fighting words.
Yeah, this feels like a very New York take, one. Because as Midwesterners, there's nothing we love more than a journey. But it's funny, because, if I think about it, like I've had people tell me in Chicago, like, there's a spot here where like you should go up and have the burger. But it's north, so I've never been. because it's like
see?
it's far north. So I'm like, you know, probably not. And there's so many good burgers, right? I think it's the problem. It's not that a burger isn't worth it. There's just so many good ones.
Right.
However, though, in the same vein, I have traveled to Red Hook for that burger from Chicago.
Right. That's even farther than me coming
and that
from
thing
Harlem.
fucking slaps. I've traveled to Red Hook because I went to Red Hook for his barbecue, and I
Right.
loved it.
Yeah.
And then,
Hometown barbecue. I've been there so many times. I fucking love that place. Amazing. I think we all went there one time together. Tyler took us all there, right?
Yeah, you're correct. I went to Red Hook Tavern for the burger, but the other stuff there is really, really good. I think is the other thing. It's also a really cool place.
It's like a dream
corner tavern. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of things that hit there. And I also, if I'm in another city, I think I'm more willing to go adventure because I usually have less going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's like, if I'm traveling, I'm traveling. It's not like, oh, hey, I got to get back because, you know what I mean? I got to pack lunches in the morning.
But see, that's how I kind of agree with this statement. As much as like, I was like, oh, hell no, I'll go anywhere if you tell me there's a good burger. But the more I thought about it, I was like, no, I actually won't. If there's other stuff.
Yeah, you never even went and got that soft serve.
No, I didn't. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I'd have to take a whole box of lactate if I want to eat that soft serve.
Yeah, that's
soft serve dipped in butter. But the burger thing is like, I will go if there's other stuff, like DB Bistro back in the day, one of Danielle Boulud's restaurants, was known to have this incredible burger that had like braised short rib and foie gras on the inside. I was like, holy shit, I want to try this burger. But they had a cassoulet. They had other stuff that was like, you have to try all of these things. So I went there with some friends. We tried a ton of dishes. And of course, the burger was one. 𝗕𝗏𝗃 Tavern, I've actually gone to just had the burger at the bar and a glass of wine and like called it a night. But that's because I was like downtown on the early side. When I first tried the burger at 𝗕𝗏𝗃 Tavern, it's because I went there to try other stuff as well. So I don't know if I would make a trip just for a burger.
I think just for a burger is tough. I think there are foods, though, that are typical travel foods, like in the States, at least. Like I think in other countries, you know, kind of like when we talked about with Michelin, like you'll drive out to a restaurant in the middle of nowhere that's a 3-star. Right. Like I think in America, we don't really do that. However, I think one of the ones here is like people will travel for barbecue. You could open up, like there's the most famous restaurant in the state of Illinois is 17th Street Barbecue.
Oh, wow.
17th Street Barbecue is in Murfreesboro, which is about 4.5 hours south of Chicago, still in the state. There's this little place called 17th Street Barbecue that's super famous, really phenomenal barbecue restaurant that people travel from all over to go eat at.
Have you been there?
I have not. It's on my bucket list. It's what I want to do.
I feel like you, Hillary, and the kids have got a trip coming up for that.
Every time I've had a road trip south somewhere, I look how much more time it would take for me to go through Murfreesboro.
So that's like Michelin 2-star. It's worth a strong
special
detour.
diversion. Yeah, I just haven't had the thing to do it yet. But I think barbecue you travel for. But just for a burger, I'm like, if I'm there, I'm like, oh, yo, let's go get this burger. So it's one of those things, though. But if that's the lead, if that's like, oh, why you got to go to this place, I feel like if you're like, you have to go to this place, they also have a banging burger.
Right.
Like that's the cherry on top that might push me over the edge.
Yeah.
But it's probably not the lead.
I want to go to Red Hook Tavern because I've heard all of the food is phenomenal. And the burger would be one thing that I order. But I don't know if I'm going to go to a place I have to be in like a burger mood, and that's so rare that I'm like, I just want to sit down and house a juicy burger.
I could eat a burger like probably 4 days a week.
For me, eating a burger is like going to the gym. It's not something that I like go into like, oh man, I'm really excited for this, but I'm always like, oh, that was fucking awesome afterwards.
Oh, see, I'm like, as many days as I go to the gym, I can have a burger. Those things are directly. I have a direct correlation with the two as well, but I think in the opposite way of you. I'm like, I went to the gym this morning so I could eat a burger today.
And you deserve that burger. Now, how about I meet you in Red Hook? We grab the burger. Perfect.
I'm in.
I'm in
anytime. I'm a huge Billy Durney fan, so I'm always down.
Well, Joe, I think it's time to get into a little bit of line check. What do you say?
I'd say let's go.
Okay, so this is something you have a really strong opinion about. I know because we've talked about it. I've seen these conversations flying around since I was a kid, but mainly now there is like a chef on Instagram whose clip has gone kind of viral for his hot take on opening restaurants.
Yeah. And I think it's that what I said to you, and I don't know if it's even a hot take. It's just, that take of don't do it, right? That's this guy's whole thing. He goes into this whole don't do it, don't get into restaurants. It's just shit. You eat shit every day. Like don't get it for any reason. Like you'll get nothing out of it. And that's kind of like the whole trope is like there's no good to it, right? Like you're just going to get in this business and it's just going to crush your dreams and it's going to ruin your life and it's bad
Right.
and it's evil. And it's like,
I thought there was going to be a silver lining at the end of the clip. It's like, but if you love it, if you can't, it's like I was watching the clip for that moment of the joy for being in restaurants, a moment of joy for what the work is, and a moment of like acknowledgement that, yes, it's hard, but we love this and we do it because blank. Everybody's got their own reason. You fill in the blank.
There was a little bit of that of like, but if you have to do it, you should do it. Just don't expect anything out of it.
Yeah, it was wildly pessimistic.
And it's one of those things where for me it's like there's tons of truth to it, right? Like it is super hard. Like yes, if you think you're getting into it to make your own hours, you're crazy. But if anyone who thinks like, oh, I'm going to own my own business, you know what I mean? It's like there's that old joke of like, I quit working 40 hours a week for someone else so I could work 100 hours a week for myself.
Right.
And it's like, and that's kind of what it is. And it's, you know what I mean? You'll never get like, you're not gonna be like, oh, I work for myself, so I work less hours. It's like, you just have more flexibility and you have more control, I think is the beauty of it. But it just glosses over everything that's incredible about this industry, about owning a restaurant. And it's just like, I hate the idea, the trope of like, somehow these people just ended up with restaurants and now they have this burden, this cross to bear that is, this restaurant. It's like, isn't this what you worked for?
Right.
Isn't this
that
what you wanted?
And didn't you, I feel like, so, my mom was in restaurants. She worked in restaurants before I was born. I was raised literally in restaurants. She was in the industry on different sides, mainly front of house, restaurant manager, then went to food sales. But she was in the industry for like 30 some odd years. So she was very against me going into it because she knew how hard the life could be. She didn't work at high level restaurants. She managed restaurants that were like neighborhood diner, nice, but casual places like Mellow Yellow on 53rd Street, known for their bowl of chili, ostensibly a great neighborhood restaurant, date night Friday, Tuesday, take the kids after school kind of place. But there was no part of the industry that she was like, there's huge reward from this. You do it because it's a job. You do it because it's fulfilling in a lot of ways. You love providing hospitality, but it is really hard. And if you can find another way to do something that you're passionate about, maybe go do that instead. And she would always tell me like 9 out of 10 restaurants fail within the first year. So it's just really, it's a gamble. You might be out of a job. You might lose your shirt. I remember hearing that as a kid, but I feel like since COVID though, I do feel like it's gotten a lot harder than it was even before. And it's always been hard, right? But I feel like it has gotten harder.
Yeah, I think it has. You know what I mean? Just straight up. Everything's gotten more expensive, right? And so, like, therefore, it's like there's more constraints. The margins are smaller. You hear everyone. You hear that trope because it's true. Things have just gone up in price. Rent's crazy. Food prices are crazy. Labor prices are crazy. All of these things now we consider when you and I started cooking 20 years ago were just totally different, right?
Right.
And I think you could open a restaurant with a lot less then. And the expectations of like, you could open a restaurant and let it build. And now it's like, you got to come out of the gate so hot. Like,
right.
You know, you have to be a great restaurant right out of the gate to survive. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, there's a ton of truth to it. And I'll be the first one to tell people, like, if you can think about doing anything else, you should probably do that. That's probably the thing you should be doing. Like, I'm doing this because I can't imagine waking up tomorrow and doing anything else. There's nothing else I want to do. Like, if I have to wake up tomorrow and they're like, you have to get a different job, I don't even know where to begin.
Right.
I don't even know where I'd start. There's not a 2. There's not a 3. It's just like, okay, well, I don't think the Bears want me as a backup center. So, you know, like, I really don't have a plan B here. And granted, too, like, we're in one of the times a year, you know, we're sitting here. I'm in Chicago in January. There's 3 inches of snow out front. And it is a brutal time of year at restaurants. You know what I mean? You remember it as a cook. It's slow.
Oh, yeah.
It's cuts. It's, you know what I mean? Especially in fine dining. Basically, if you can afford to eat a fine dining restaurant, you can afford to not be in a cold city when it's cold.
Exactly. We used to get our hours. I mean, you'd be lucky if you're getting 40 hours. And I say that because we would normally be working between 80 to 100. One of my friends, Eric Fricker, one time, he clocked 120 hours one week. It was wild on his time card. And we were like, dude, you're buying drinks tonight because you're balling right now.
That's legendary.
But, you know, it's to have your hours cut when you make $7.25 an hour and you're working, you know, maybe 30 hours, maybe even 20 if it's really slow. Like when the recession hit in 2008, even fine dining took a hit there. And you'd be lucky if you're working 2-3 days a week back then.
Right.
That was scary times. Very scary.
Right. And so it's like, you know, this is the scariest time of year. You know, you walk around West Loop at night and you see restaurants and they're slow and there's a few people in them. And you're just like, you know, you kind of, this is the time of year where you just have to hold the line and say like, okay, we know it's tight right now. We just have to run lean. We have to run tight and we have to, you know, live on, you know, the restaurant business is a business of, you know, faith and hope and, you know, belief, right? Like that of just like, this is a slow time, but you know, like the old, like it cannot always be night.
Right.
And so it's like, that's
and
how you
this too
sit.
shall pass.
Right. Like that's how you sit through a winter is in this too shall pass mindset of like, hey, you know, we got to work on what we can work on. We got to get better on what we can get better on. And, you know, we'll get to the other side of this. So it's scary. It's scary running a business where you're dependent on people to walk through the door every day.
Yeah. And then a snowstorm hits or it starts raining or the temperature drops 20 degrees overnight.
Right. And it's scary as shit. It's scary as shit to open your own business, to put yourself out there, put your money out there, put your name on the line, put your whole self out there. But it's also, I mean, the reward for people to sit there and say there's no reward is the most insane thing I've ever heard. We can sit in here and complain about, you know, bad dieters or, you know, big crazy people we worked with. But it's like, it's the fucking best. And it's like, and we're not the only ones who live in a world where it's like the idea of like, our job is not just a job, it's a lifestyle. It's like we work different hours, we work long things. It's like, that's not special. That's not unique. Talk to any nurse out there. Talk to any person working in a firehouse, working on a, you know, EMT, working in a million different jobs where you work the different hours, where you work a third shift in a factory, where you do all these things. Like, it's not unique.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not a 9 to 5, and it feels sometimes like everybody works a 9 to 5, but you, especially when you're in this industry. But it's so rewarding. You know what I mean? The people we get to work with, the things we get to do, that we get to do what we love for a living, that is unique.
Yeah.
That is really special. And it's like, yes, some days it sucks. Some days people hate what you do. They come in and they're just mean. You know what I mean? They yell at you for crazy things and you have to sit there and be like, yeah, this sucks. But it's like, also, it's like some days you get to sit there, look at a packed dining room, feel the energy of the room, look at people laughing, having fun. And you're like, I created this space for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You get to watch people grow in their careers. And not something where it's like they had to go to school for 7 years.
Yeah, it's like you hatch a little baby cook and then you get to like see him fly. It's like, that's a really cool moment.
Right. It's like you get to watch people build a career for themselves who maybe didn't know what they were going to do 10 years ago, who didn't have a thought, who were like, oh, maybe I'll go to school, maybe I'll do this. And now it's like, man, you're really good at this. You have a life.
So, Joe, you just opened your 4th restaurant. So I know that like we talked about this towards the end of 25 when Bar Tutto was opening and you were really excited about it. And then things like this come up where people are just kind of like bragging on like something that you hold very dear. So what is it that keeps you going like personally? Like, is it the reward side of it? Is it, you know, what is your motivation? How do you stay positive about it while so many other people are feeling so down about it?
Yeah. And I think it's hard, right? Especially like this time of year, you know, we're a month into a new restaurant, a little bit more. And I think like every day I try to remind myself, it's like, I get to do this. No one's making me. You know what I mean? I don't have to, but I get to. And I think that's really, really important to like have that mindset of like, this is, you know, a privilege that I get to run restaurants. It's crazy to me that like, you know, like I get to open, like, this is a weird one, but I had this moment, like, I think it was like a week and a half ago, and I was leaving 𝗕𝗂𝗿𝗏, and I got a coffee, and I got in my car to go drive to a meeting, and I looked at the coffee cup, and it said 𝗕𝗂𝗿𝗏 on it, like, just on the sleeve. And I was like, for some reason, that felt so big. Like, it felt so big. I was like, I can't believe, like, I built this restaurant where it's like and I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, why? Like, the name's on the sign on a fucking giant building, and it's on a menu, and it's on, sweatshirts we made, and all these things. But for some reason, seeing it out of a disposable coffee cup on a sleeve, like, was like, whoa. Like, this is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? To go from being a line cook, making no money, doing all these things, and, like, working so hard for this, and just to, like, see the name of your restaurant in a coffee cup, like, that felt huge. And it was such a cool moment. It was such a cool moment. So it's like, I think you have to, like, look for the little victories and the joy in those little moments. You have to, you know what I mean? Like, look for those things in the everyday where it's like you get to work with people and you get to talk to people and spend your time meeting these people who, you know what I mean? It's like, in restaurants, it's like, it's filled with a bunch of weirdos like us.
Coolest people ever.
That's what I mean, though. They're, like, wildly fascinating to talk to for me.
Right.
Like, I love meeting the new people, and just, like, it's like, how did you end up here? It's like, everybody's got a story.
What brand of weird are you?
Yes, it's fantastic. I love it. Like, that's the things that, like, keep me motivated, that keep me smiling. And it's like, and I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing is, I have to tell myself, like, if I'm not walking in the door excited to be here every day, how can I possibly expect that of my teams? You know what I mean? Whether it's a slow Tuesday in January or it's a banging Friday, Saturday night, in May, and patio's open and everything's rocking and the whole city feels like it's on fire.
Right.
Like, those days both have to matter as much.
I firmly believe, and I pretty much wake up every day with the belief, and I've been telling myself, I used to be a very, not pessimistic, but I was a bit of a different person when I worked in restaurants, and then started to change because, it was like the line cook lifestyle and just all this. And I was like kind of down about things here and there. And I was like, you know what? I fucking love this. I love what I do. I love the people I work with. I love the lifestyle. I wasn't down about that, but I would just be like out in the streets and I'm like, ugh, people, like, I stop for my morning coffee and I'm like, all these fucking people at my coffee shop. It's like, why am I so angry about everything? And so I realized then happiness is a choice. Happiness is a fucking choice. And I choose happiness. That helped me change my perspective on things that used to get me incredibly frustrated, dealing with people who, like 𝗕𝗂𝗿𝗏, when she was with us. Remember that guy brought the wrong thing from the walk-in? I used to fly off the handle with stuff. I still, but I realized, like, let me manage. Let me manage my response to this and just say, what the fuck is wrong with you? Instead of, like, getting my stress level up.
And you gotta laugh at that shit. Like,
exactly.
Going through this opening, like, the amount of times I think I said that to, Trev, who's my culinary director, where it's like the frustration levels, because you're just like, man, we said this 1,000 times. Man, we talked about this 100 times. We sent emails about it. We have checklists. We have all these things. And then something happens and you're just like, I'm like, dude, I go, you just gotta laugh. I go, because if you just let the frustration just boil and boil and boil, I go, you're going to blow your top.
Exactly.
And I go, especially when I was a young sous chef and chef de cuisine, I would get so mad. I get so frustrated. And then I blow up on somebody, right?
Right.
Having long conversations with them after service. Like, oh, you did this and this and this and this. I remember, like, leaving 𝗕𝗏𝗍 and, like, after being there 5.5 years, and, like, the stuff that stuck with me were, like, those times where it's like, I wasn't my best self and I, like, like, lost my shit. And it's like, you're embarrassed.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? You're like, what was I doing? Like, why did I do that? Like, why would I, react in that way?
Yeah, you realize that the stress got to you and you were reacting on the stress. You weren't reacting necessarily on the situation. You weren't looking at it in that positive way. And it's just like, afterwards, you're right. Like, you look back on that and you're like, oh, I can't believe, like, somebody's got that memory of me. Somebody.
Well, and it's just, and I don't
looks
know
at
if this
me
is
like
just
and remembers
like
that moment.
A growing up with siblings mentality, but like, growing up with a sibling, I have 3. It was always a game of, I'm going to try to get under your skin. I'm going to try to get you to overreact. You know what I mean? Like I'm just going to needle you. I'm going to
I
needle
see it with
you
my niece and nephew
till
all the time
you
now.
overreact, because then you're going to get in trouble, right? And I feel like restaurants are like a giant game of that sometimes, where it's like, listen, this day is going to needle you, and it knows. The restaurant knows how to get under your skin, just like your siblings, just like my older sister.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know if there's anyone in this world who could piss me off quicker than if my older sister decided today, she's like, I'm going to get Joe fired up just for no
100%.
reason. She could knock that out before we finish this phone call. Like, and I think like restaurants are so good at that. So I think like if there's something in that like sibling thing to me where it's like, I can't believe I let it get the best of me. Like, I can't believe I let it make me overreact. Like, I'm so mad at myself. Like, it's like like that, like I should be better than that, or I shouldn't let it, you know what I mean, beat me. Where it's like, I feel like I got beat by it that day. Whenever, like, that's how I always look at it now, where those days where I'm like, even if I was visibly frustrated, because like that happens, especially in an open. I had days where it's like, I look visibly frustrated because I am, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, fucking, you know what I mean? This is the fourth time we're putting this up, or this is taking longer than I want, or, you know what I mean? We just ran shit to the wrong table, and I'm just frustrated. Like, I can't help it. I want it to be right. I want it to be right away. I try to be patient, but I suck at it. And you know what I mean? I just want it to be right. And I want everyone to be on the same page as me, which is a totally insane page. And like, so it's like those days when I feel that way, I'm like, got the best of me.
Yeah.
Tony used to say, never let them see you sweat.
Right. One of my chefs before gave me that same advice, and it was a guy named Adam. Some of the best advice he gave me in a moment was like, eat the stress. The waiters are coming at you this way, telling you this table has this issue. We need the food for this. The manager's over here. This person's yelling. The saucier just knocked over a quart of sauce that you need for later in night, for service. And then all the things are going on around you. You have to be the one who steadies the ship. If you lose your shit, everybody around you feels like the ship is sinking.
We're all going.
So you have to be.
We're all going.
And it's not just kitchens. Like, that applies to everything. If you're managing people, or people are looking to you for guidance in any kind of way, you have to be the one who like makes them feel like things are okay and you can get through it. If you lose your shit, everything goes completely haywire.
Right. It's like when we train people on Expo, that's what I always tell them. I'm like, if you start looking off the cliff, you're going off the cliff. Yes. And I go, and you're in front of the pack, so the whole pack's going with you. I go, they're gonna be 10 feet off that cliff before they even realize their feet aren't on the ground. I go, whatever direction. I go, if you're happy, you're keeping the energy up. I go, so are they. I go, if you're spiraling, they're coming down with you.
100%.
And you're going to take a whole line down with you. And having to get 10 people out of a hole is a lot of people to get out of a hole. I had a GM who used to tell the captains, he would say, be the duck. And it was the idea of like, you're calm and cool on the top of the water. But underneath, you're like, and I always like love that one. It's like, be the duck. Like, and because that's like so much of what it is. It's like, if it looks... you've walked into other restaurants, looked at the kitchen, and been like they're having a tough night.
Yep.
Like, you just see the body language. You see somebody talking to somebody, and you're like, oof, I don't want to be back there.
Right. You're like, ooh, something went wrong. Ooh. My nosy ass like walks by the open part of the kitchen trying to hear like the shit they're talking.
Dude, I remember I walked into a buddy of mine's restaurant. The second I walked in, I saw him, and he had this cook there who had like stage for me or worked for me for a brief point. It was a real just asshole. And as I walked in, I could see him and the other sous chef, and they're talking to this kid. And it's just like, you could tell this dude is getting pasted, like just ripped to the heavens. And so I like walked in right as I was happening. And what had happened was he had gone to clean the fryer and like didn't take all the oil out, dumped some water in, and like didn't turn it off. And it overflowed the whole fryer and like melted the knobs off the front of the fryer. Like right before dinner.
Bonehead.
Like right before dinner service.
Oh God. What?
And so they're like,
bonehead.
And this was one of those people who staged for me who was like, yeah, I don't think this place is like up to where I'm at.
Right,
like,
right.
Kind of guy. You know
You're
what I
like,
mean?
oh yeah, it's us. It's not you.
Yeah. Like super tweezer brow. Like, I don't know if this would go well for me because I don't know if like at my level. And I'm like, okay. And then I watched them melt the fucking knobs off a deep fryer. And I was like, oh, is that your level? Then yeah, you're right. We're not at your level.
I think it's time to take it to the walk-in.
Oh, I think you're way overdue, Adrienne.
Am I overdue?
I think you're overdue. I think we haven't heard something from the depths of AG's back history, the lore of Adrienne 𝗕𝗄𝗃, if you will. You know what I mean? Your villain origin story,
right?
Of why you're angry with people in coffee shops.
So many reasons.
Besides being a 70-year-old man who eats rye toast
and baked potatoes, yes. Well, we're not even at the villain origin story yet. I'm going to take you to a time where I was still just fucking up and getting yelled at. And maybe that is part of the origin story. Maybe that's why I became so angry, because young Adrienne made a lot of young decisions and did a lot of dumb stuff. And I got yelled at tremendously on several occasions. Yes, I've had stuff thrown at me. Yes, I've had plates slung down the line that I had to like catch before it shattered on a saute pan. And then I would have to reset my whole station because the chef threw a plate at me. So back in the day, I think I was on Garde Manger. The restaurant shall remain nameless, but we had a buyout, right? That's when somebody essentially says, on this date, don't take any reservations. We'll pay you X amount of money that would cover what you would make in that night, plus some on top, for your staff to work for this private event for 175 people. Right. Cool. So I was doing the garnish. There was a little side couscous salad for this dish, like the Israeli couscous, the big pearls, not like the small couscous. So, okay, all I had to do for the day, I had one job.
Yeah,
and my chef said, Adrienne.
That's always how it starts.
You had one job and you fucked it up. So my chef said, Adrienne, weigh out whatever couscous, you need to nail it, right? We don't need to have too much left over. We can use some for family meal the next day, but I need you to get this right. Okay, so I fucked up a lot of things, not just one. So I weighed the couscous dry and didn't re-weigh the portion cooked. So yeah, big mistake number one. Big mistake number two, probably the bigger mistake, because we can deal with a little extra leftover. We can just make that the star of family meal instead of a side dish. So I was prepping the herbs that get chopped and added to the salad. What's the first thing you do when you're prepping herbs? Wash
herbs?
Yes. What did I not do?
Oh.
I know, right? And it's,
Also, hold on. We just have to take one step back here because this is, I don't think people realize how hilarious, like, and how big of a miss weighing dry is. Because 50% of the weight of couscous is water. So it's not like you missed by, like, I was off by, a couple 100 grams. Like, you were off by 50%. You did twice as much as you needed.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
All right. Very good. We'll keep rolling. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll just skate past that one because at the end of it, my chef was less mad about that than the herb situation. So I had washed the herbs that were that I saw that were dirty. Some of the other herbs the paper towels were more damp. I thought they had been washed because sometimes our receiver would wash the herbs if they have time. I didn't check. I should have. All on me. I assumed herbs were washed, didn't ask, didn't check, didn't wash to be sure. We have a huge salad spinner I could have used. I had no excuses. So chopped the herbs, made the salad, all this. We plate, we send 175. And mind you, these go on the side. So they're not on the plate. Thank God. So most people don't even touch them. That is probably my only saving grace, is that most of them are just sitting on the table kind of as garnish decoration that nobody's actually eating because there's so much other stuff. My chef comes over, is like, wow, you really fucked up that, didn't you? Looking at the amount left over, was like, wow, you really didn't do what I asked you to and nail the measurements. So I'm like, yes, chef, I'm sorry. He's like, well, great. You're in charge of family meal for 2 days. You got to make this interesting for staff for 2 days now instead of one. Okay, that's on me. He goes to take a bite of it. And he had tasted it before service. No complaints, no nothing, no notes. Everything was fine. Enough lemon juice, olive oil, salt, herbs, tomato, everything. Tomato brunoise, everything. He takes a bite and gets that crunch from some sand.
Mm.
He threw his spoon so hard against the fucking tile, it bounced off the countertop. I mean, he flew off the handle, rightfully so. I mean, that huge mistake, right? You can't have somebody buying out a restaurant, spending a ton of money and get gritty anything because somebody didn't wash the herbs. Yeah. Yeah.
That gritty like parsley taste too is so distinct. Where it's just like, it feels like you just licked a leaf off the ground. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like that mud where you're just like,
you hit a piece of like for the next hour. It's still like just everywhere in your teeth. It's disgusting. And yep, young Adrienne, young mistake. Didn't check, didn't ask. You know, was like, oh, okay, I can do this. And everybody's so busy with buyout stuff. I don't want to bother people. Did the herbs get washed today? They look clean. You know.
I didn't know, so I didn't ask. I feel is like the one that always gets everybody. Like still to this day, it's like my number one thing. All my sous chefs and my cooks, but they like royally screw something up. They're like, "Well, I didn't know." It's like, right,
and you didn't ask,
right. And remember, like when I was standing like a foot away from you, like you didn't think maybe
you should just been like, "Hey, chef. Hey, chef.
Hey, fella.
Can I ask you a question?"
Yeah.
Hey there, big guy. Can I ask you a question?
You've asked me 75 questions today. That were completely irrelevant.
You've asked me where the salt, when the salt is sitting right in front of you. You couldn't ask me this major thing that would have a detrimental effect on everything else around it.
Oh, dude, that's brutal. That's brutal. To not wash it. There's nothing. Especially it's already out on the table.
Yep.
Because that's a horrible feeling too. It's like I've been the chef on the other side of that, where you taste something and you're like, oh my God, I didn't taste this.
Yeah.
I didn't taste this as much as I thought I did. And you're like, holy fuck. We just
and I've been tasting it the whole time. And I didn't, it was like, oh my God, it's just massive mistake. I think I was just coming off of internship. It was like the biggest mistake I could have ever made that early at that restaurant. It was not good. It was no bueno, Poppy. Joe, I think we have a couple minutes and I want to do a quick Super Bowl turn and burn. I want to get your hot takes on a couple.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Fire them at me. I'm ready.
All right. It's only 4, so it'll go fast. Okay. But these are Super Bowl staples for it. All right. I need to know where you stand. If our friendship's going to continue, I got to know who I'm dealing with here.
Yep.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready. Never been more ready.
Buffalo wings or pigs in a blanket?
Oh, that is tough. That is tough. But for a Super Bowl specifically, Buffalo wings.
Okay, fair. Blue cheese or ranch?
This is not going to be popular, but there's only one answer, and it's blue motherfucking cheese.
Oh, damn it. Okay, yeah. I mean.
Put some flavor in your life.
All right, sports bar or house party to watch the game?
House party only. I need to be in a safe space.
Okay, fair. I could see that for you. Halftime show or halftime commercials?
Like, am I watching the halftime show?
Which are you most excited about? Second quarter ends, halftime is about to start. Are you like, oh, these commercials are about to be lit? Or are you like, damn, this show is about to go down? Which are you more excited for?
I think it depends on the show. I'd say, it's Bad Bunny this year, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say show. Gotta go. My boy Benito.
Cool. Me too. I'm with him. I'm with Benito.
I can tell by the shirt.
Yep. That's my Super Bowl turn and burn.
That's okay. I have to give you though my ranch origin villain story. After you and I did Top Chef, while I got kicked off and I was in Last Chance Kitchen, I had to do a quick fire where we had to.
That's right. You did get kicked off.
Okay, chill. we both know how this ended.
I know. I had to get my moment. Thanks for letting me have it, asshole. You got to get your licks in when you can. But so we had to do basically one of those Last Chance ones, like a quick fire where we had to use powdered ranch. Oh.
And so I won that one. So after we were done, this video is still out in the ether somewhere. But the first thing I ever did, I ever got paid for, you know what I mean, to do a promotion, was I flew to New York, filmed this thing at Chelsea Market, and it was me and this woman. She was Andy Cohen's assistant at the time.
Okay.
And we did this whole thing with ranch, with Hidden Valley, where they had a ranch fountain, and we just dip shit in ranch all day. We ate ranch for 6 hours, on all sorts of stuff. We were just eating ranch on Oreos and bullshit like that. And I just remember getting back on the plane to Chicago. I went from there to the airport, and I was like, there's nobody sitting next to me. I laid across 3 seats, and I was just sweating out ranch. And I was like in so much pain, and I hated it so much. So it is blue cheese. It was always blue cheese before that, but it'll be blue cheese for life. I was, traumatized by ranch.
It sounds like you've had enough ranch for anybody's lifetime, actually.
But that
so
video
I'll give
exists
you a pass.
somewhere out there in the ether is me eating ranch for like 6
I'm
hours.
going to spend
It's
the rest of
disgusting.
my day looking for this.
Yeah,
and I'm just
yeah.
going to send you clips of it throughout the day. So you can relive the nausea. Like I had to relive my shame. You get to relive your nausea.
Mm-hmm.
That's what our friendship is, pretty much.
That's what it is. Shame and nausea.
That's it for this episode of The Chef's Cut. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening, especially if you're watching us on YouTube, where you can get full-length video episodes of the show. And be sure to follow us at 𝗕𝗂𝗿𝗏 on IG. For Joe Flam, I'm Adrienne 𝗕ci𝘄𝗹, and this has been The Chef's Cut, Life Beyond the Pass.